Probably one of the most famous people associated with the Hollow Earth theory is Vice Admiral Richard Byrd of the US Navy, who managed to see the underworld with his own eyes and recorded everything in detail in his secret diary. What sets his story apart from others is the fact that his son published his personal diary after his death. He was a distinguished pioneer aviator and polar explorer who flew over the North Pole on May 9, 1926, and led numerous expeditions to Antarctica, including a flight over the South Pole on November 29, 1929. What did he see there? The anomalies he witnessed, UFOs surrounded him, and even more scandalous, he literally met with their leader, or the master of the underground civilization, as he calls him. What exactly did he discover in his numerous expeditions to the poles, and how did an admiral of such a high rank dare to expose secrets like these? The diary begins like this. I am writing this diary in secret and I do not fully understand everything. It refers to my Arctic flight on February 19, 1947. There comes a time when the inevitability of the truth overshadows rationality. I am not allowed to disclose the following documentation at the time of writing. It will never be released to the general public, but it is my duty to write everything so that it will be read one day. In a world of greed and exploitation, surely humanity will no longer be able to suppress the truth. This confirms his honorable character and that perhaps he was indeed sworn to secrecy. 10:09 in the morning. Both magnetic and gyro compasses begin to spin and wobble, unable to maintain course by instruments. We're taking a sun compass, but everything looks good. The steering seems to be lagging and responding sluggishly, but no indication of freezing. 9:15. Something like mountains can be seen in the distance. 9:49. 29 minutes elapsed time since the first sighting of the mountains. It is no illusion. They are mountains and they consist of a small chain, the like of which I have never seen before. 10 a.m. We pass over the small mountain range and continue north as far as it can be determined. Behind the mountain range is a sort of a valley with creek or stream running through the central part. There shouldn't be a green valley below. Something is definitely wrong and unusual here. We must be above ice and snow. On the left side of the board, there are large forests growing on the slopes of the mountain. Our navigation instruments are still spinning. The gyroscope is swinging back and forth. 10:05 a.m. I change altitude to 1,400 feet and make a sharp left turn to explore more of the valley below. It is green from either moss or a type of thick grass. The light looks different here. I can't see the sun anymore. We make another left turn and spot something like a large animal below us. It's like an elephant. No, looks more like a mammoth. This is amazing, but here it is. I drop to 1,000 feet and grab the binoculars to study the animal better. It's confirmed. It's definitely a mammoth-like animal. I am reporting this to base camp. The shock continues with the temperature goes showing 23 degrees Celsius. He is trying to connect to the base camp, but the devices are not working. Suddenly, he realizes that flying saucers are coming around him. 10:30. More rolling green hills below. The outside temperature reads 23 degrees Celsius. We continue on our course. Navigation tools now look normal. I cannot explain their actions. I'm trying to contact base camp. The radio doesn't work. 11:30. The surroundings below us are flatter and normal, if I may use that word. Ahead we see something like a city. It is impossible. The plane seems to be light and strangely floating. The plane cannot be controlled by us, God. To the left and the right of the wings there are some strange planes. They're approaching quickly from the side. They're disc-shaped and glow. They're now close enough to see their markings. It's a type of swastika. This is fantastic. Where are we? What happened? I pull the steering wheel again. Does not respond. We are caught in some invisible grip. 11:35. The radio transmits and a voice is heard in English with what appears to be a slight Nordic or German accent. Welcome, Admiral, to our domain. We'll land you in exactly 7 minutes. Relax, Admiral, you are in good hands. I noticed that our plane engines have stopped working. The plane is under some strange control and is now turning on its own. 11:40. Another radio message received. We're already starting the landing process, and for a few moments the plane shudders slightly and starts to descend as if it's caught in some huge invisible elevator. The downward movement is negligible and we land with a very slight bounce. 11:45. I make a quick last entry in the logbook. Several men are approaching our plane on foot. They are tall with blonde hair. In the distance, there is a large glittering city, pulsing with rainbow hues of color. I don't know what will happen now, but I don't see any sign of weapons on the approaching ones. Now I hear a voice commanding me by name to open the cargo door. I obey. End of the logbook by Richard Byrd. From here on, I write all subsequent events from my memory. It's beyond imagination and would seem like utter madness if it hadn't happened. There, Byrd was welcomed to the place which the residents used to call it. Guess how? They called it Agartha. After exiting the plane, they were put on a vehicle without wheels and driven at high speed to a glowing city that looked as if it was made of crystal. They were given some strange drink, after which Byrd was led through many corridors with glowing walls to a huge hall where he met the ruler of Agartha, the Master. He told Byrd that he had been admitted to Agartha because the Admiral had a noble character. He told him that they were in the country of the Aryans in Inner Land. He assured him that they would not interfere with their mission on the surface and that after their meeting he would be brought back safely to the surface. The reason they wanted to meet with him was related to the concern caused by the use of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. He warned him that the path of our civilization had taken lead to a great destruction in time, as well as they who live in Agartha will be there and will help the people who survive. And Byrd's task was to convey the Master's message to the people on the surface. After the conversation with the Master, Byrd is taken to his plane. Esoteric Jewel Cool says that based on his channeling, he was able to confirm that Admiral Byrd did indeed travel to the inner earth as he said. He said there is a sun in the inner earth, but it's different from ours. He said that Aurora Borealis is not caused by the inner earth sun, but by a different light source. He said that openings of the poles are very wide and ships and aircraft can enter them. However, they are naturally shielded by some kind of energy field. People can find them if they really look for them. However, they are slightly masked by this energy field. He confirmed that there are entrances to the inner earth in Egypt, Tibet, Yucatan, and also added that there are other entrances in the Bermuda Triangle, Russia, and Africa. He said that there are different races in the inner earth, just like on the surface of the earth, and some of them are quite tall. It also confirmed that the US government and other countries were aware of inner earth, but were covering up the facts and that they were communicating with UFOs and extraterrestrials. A year after the end of the expedition, reports began to appear in the press that it did not return in full. One ship was lost, 13 aircrafts were damaged, and about 68 people were killed, and the new aircraft carried was urgently sent for repairs. Reports appeared in the press that Rear Admiral Byrd in April 1947 gave detailed explanation at a secret meeting of the Presidential Commission in Washington. Various versions have been given in the press about this strange war, including that the Rear Admiral fought with the forces of the Fourth Reich or with New Swabia, based in the hollows of Antarctica, and the flying saucers were secret developments of the Nazis. In the summary of the commission, there were such passages: the ship and the aircraft of the 4th US Arctic expedition were attacked by strange flying saucers, which came out from under the ground and moving at great speed, inflicted considerable damage on the expedition. Admiral Byrd was imprisoned in a psychiatric hospital for 5 years, but interestingly, when the Führer died down, he came out of psychiatry and calmly returned to a commanding post in the US Navy. Probably the government didn't think he was crazy at all. 10 years later, he writes his last message in his diary and message to us all. The last few years after 1947 were not easy. Now, I want to make my last entry in this journal. In conclusion, I want to say that I have faithfully kept this secret all these years. It was about my desires and my values. Now, I feel that my days are numbered, but this secret will not go with me to the grave, but like any truth, sooner or later, it will triumph. This may be the only hope for humanity. I saw the truth, and it strengthened my spirit and set me free. I pay tribute to the monstrous machine of the military-industrial complex. As soon as the long Arctic night is over, the dazzling diamond of truth will shine forth, and those in darkness will be drowned in its light. For I saw the earth beyond the pole. Is that the center of the great unknown? Byrd's story is also confirmed by a leaked tape from Russian military intelligence. The footage was taken from the Mir station and shows a giant hole in Antarctica, just as Byrd described it. The story of Admiral Byrd is an extraordinary story of an extraordinary man. Did his son publish an entire diary to undermine the authority of the prestigious naval officer he loved so much as his father? Or did the war admiral write all this to make fun of his principles and his legacy? Is this true? Is it a hidden reality? And have we been lied to all this time? Please do tell us in the comments down below. Do you think that the earth is hollow and inner civilizations exist? We can be only certain for one thing: if we keep on searching, if we keep on looking, one day, no matter how long it takes, we will find out the truth.